Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Carey.
So, last time we spoke, which people may or may not watch these sequentially, we were talking about what to do if your system is a mess. And so today we wanted to talk about what tools do people probably already have on hand to both assess how their system is doing, but also to stay on top of making sure they're keeping their data and their infrastructure clean.
So I'm going to start with something that's system agnostic, which is leveraging Excel and pivot tables.
Mhm.
If you do not know how to run a pivot table, I highly recommend to get a tutorial either from a LinkedIn Learning or ask ChatGPT,
Or
figure
call
out how to
me because I love running pivot tables. It will change your
call
life.
call Carey. They're a great place to understand what's inside your fields, what's inside that database. What are you working with? Where are the challenges? And again, it's something that all of us have access to, regardless if we're on a HubSpot or a Marketo or Blaze or any of those systems. So I think that's a good first starting point, and it's a good place to just strengthen the data muscle to see what are we dealing with, what is our data, and where are our challenges. That's the first one.
That's a really good one. And I'm going to kind of parlay off that one because in order to run a pivot table, you need a smart list. So that might be very simple in Marketo or HubSpot. You're just doing like, show me everybody created this year. But once you know what you're looking for example, we used an industry pick list in our last call about something common on a form that might have a restricted pick list. Well, if you know that your system requires one of 12 industries in order to sync correctly to Salesforce, a smart list you could do would be build a smart list that says, show me everybody whose industry is not one of these 12 values and is populated. And a tool that you have in Marketo and I believe HubSpot is that you can put a subscription on that smart list. So instead of having to mentally remember to do it, put a subscription that says non-standard industry values and send it to yourself once a week, maybe every day if it's really important, so that you can address that problem long before we get to sync issues.
Absolutely. Now, going in a little bit deeper into the Marketo world, I always love looking at the campaign inspector.
Oh, I
I
love
was
it.
at one company that I think we had over 800 campaigns running. How crazy is that?
That's nuts.
Uh, Then you're going through, you're like, why is my Marketo system going slow? Oh, it's because 800 campaigns are running right now.
Right.
Time to shut some of them off. So that's another great place to go look and see what is happening across the whole entire instance. Are there things from 2 years ago, 5 years ago that should actually be discontinued and shut off? That is another great tool if you are in the Adobe Marketo world.
Yeah. And HubSpot does have something similar. So a tool that's in both systems for sure. And I can't speak to the other ones like Pardot and Marketing Cloud and things like that, but the vast majority are on Marketo and HubSpot. Is the field in use by? So in Marketo, it's under admin. You go to field in use, and you can look up a field, and you can see like what forms it's in, what campaigns are using it. In HubSpot, it goes even a bit farther. It's going to tell you how many records have that have a data value in that, which is awesome because I generally am also then running another smart list in Marketo and exporting it to a pivot table to see like, well, how many people even have this populated? But understanding those fields that are in there, you need to understand the fields, the mapping. What is the format? Is it a string field? Is it an integer field? All of that stuff becomes really important for how you're using the system, and those things will become really important once we add AI to understand how this works.
Oh, I've seen fields be repurposed and have multiple types of data in the one field, which, oof, folks, that's a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
But another thing that a lot of systems offer is some type of audit log.
Hmm.
So, especially when you're in the CRM world, there's audit logs to see
Hmm.
who last updated or what system last updated something. That's really important. You want to know where the source of, let's say, bad information is coming in or data that's not actually formatted the way we need it so that you can go in and make any type of adjustments you need.
Yeah, that's really important. And I think like one thing to consider is we have been kind of breaking our conversations into a little bit of like not really rigidly into data and infrastructure, but I think what ends up happening is often an issue with the data is a symptom of something broken with the infrastructure. And that's why we place a high priority on monitoring the data. Does it matter from time to time if somebody comes in with a different job title or industry or something like that? Maybe. But the bigger deal is that data what you expected to happen? And if it's not what you expected, then you do want to get to the bottom of why. And the key, I think, and the reason, like we said, we're talking about this with AI coming, is you want to be ahead of the curve so that you have time to do this stuff the right way instead of being reactionary once AI is implemented and starts making changes to your system or using data maybe in a way you're not expecting.
Yeah, who wants a nice personalized email where they're using a field that has a code as opposed to a name as the hi address,
Right.
hi field?
Yeah, we've all seen it, and AI is just going to exacerbate that problem. So no, these are really great things, and we'll make note of this so that if you haven't used those things, or if you haven't learned how to use pivot tables, I kid you not, I will teach you. I love teaching people pivot tables. I taught my husband. He uses them everywhere now. It's awesome. But yes, those are things that'll be really helpful to keeping track of your data and your infrastructure. So
Awesome.
have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.